Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Roger Paul, and tonight we are going to give me 1 second. I'm getting a message on this other computer. Tonight we're going to start a new paper, paper 44. We're going to get back in our regular cruise through the book, right? And we stopped at paper 43 a few months ago, and we're going to go on to paper 44, Celestial Artisans. And for y'all that have never read this paper, I have a suggestion. On our main page, no, it's not on the main page, it's under section 2 of the Urantia book from our main page. You'll find all the videos from section 2. You want me to show you what I'm talking about so that y'all know what I'm talking about here? Does that make better sense? Okay, let me unshare this. Okay. And go over here and share another screen here with y'all. See if I can get my mouse back over here and go to Fifth Ethical Revelation Fellowship. And if let me share the screen now so that y'all can see what I'm doing. There I am on me on top of me on top of me. Are y'all seeing? Oh, there it is. Hey, I can see it on this one now. That's pretty nice. I might just keep it this way. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you down here on the main page. If you keep going down, you'll notice number 1, I added another section here for Sundays. See that? That's Sunday's paper we went through. So we got Tuesday, Thursday, and then Sunday. And then if you keep going down all the way through the forward stuff, you'll see links for all the other sections. Okay, so if you click on number 2, the local universe, under number 2, if you go down here to paper 44, you'll notice that under paper 44, there are 3 different videos. The first 2 on paper 44 is when we did it in the class. But the one I wanted to show y'all is this one, the Heart of the Mountains retreat video. And if you've never seen this, you need to click and go out and watch this, because this is when we went to the Heart of the Mountains Urantia retreat, and I did an hour-long talk at the retreat, and I was dancing around having a good time, so y'all would see me in a way you don't normally see me. But that's where you can find that video. You can
That was
also
2013.
2013, I believe it was. And if you'll notice down here's a link, and you can find it under, just click this link and it'll take you to channels for paper 44, and all 3 of these videos is under that channels link. I'll click on it and show you what I'm talking about. This is broken. There we go. There we go, paper 44. See that? And right in the middle of the 2 regular ones is the Heart of the Mountains one, right there. See that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so it's under channels. That's how you can find it. And I think it's well worth going to watch. Since we're studying paper 44, it'll give you a different perspective of the way that I'm going to teach it tonight. Okay, so stop share and reshare the open.
So where's Rodney there?
I don't know where Rodney is tonight. Maybe he forgot the meeting. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me tell y'all, if everybody wasn't here, there's going to be 2 of me on the screen for people that are watching at home right now. But the people that see the videos won't see 2 of me. But you're going to see 2 of me because I got a Macintosh on in the background. I'm testing out to see if it works better than this one does for the meetings. So I did some research and trying something new. Okay, so let's get started here. Let me get to the first paragraph. And I believe my wife is up first.
Okay.
If I can get over here and mute this video, hang on, dear.
Okay. Paper 44, the Celestial Artisans. Among the courtesy colonies of the various divisional and universe headquarters worlds, may be found the unique order of composite personalities denominated the celestial artisans. These beings are the master artists and artisans of the Morantia and lower spirit realms. They are the spirits and semi-spirits who are engaged in Morantia embellishment and in spiritual beautification. Such artisans are distributed throughout the grand universe, on the headquarters worlds of the super universes, the local universes, the constellations and systems, as well as on all spheres settled in light and life. But their chief realm of activity is the constellations, and especially on the 770 worlds surrounding each headquarters sphere.
Okay, so the celestial artisans are part of what's called a courtesy colony. And they come from all different types of orders of beings that are artistic. Okay. Some of them are painters, some of them are weavers, some of them are musicians, just a lot of different things. Some of them are gardeners because their talent is doing gardening stuff and stuff. So what they do is they make all the worlds that we go to beautiful and enjoyable. So this is a really special job. And they come from, they're going to tell us in this paper tonight, they come from all different types of beings, from the lowest to the highest, from the very first mansion world all the way up to the whole system. Okay, as we go on the paradise journey. So it goes all the way up to the grand universe of the 7 super universes, and they even work on all the spheres that have reached light and life. But they say they really are important on the constellations and the system headquarters worlds. Okay, so they're there to make things enjoyable to us and make them beautiful. Okay, all right, go on to the next one. Collection. Okay, here we go. Pam, will you take the next one, please?
Yeah. Though their work may be almost incomprehensible to the material mind, it should be understood that the Morantia and spirit worlds are not without their high arts and supernal cultures.
When you get to the mansion worlds or any of the worlds after we leave here, you're going to see art, right? Paintings, music, and plays, and all the things we enjoy in these cultures, and things they enjoy in other cultures as well. All right. Gary, would you take the next one, please?
The celestial artisans are not created as such. They are a selected and recruited core of beings composed of certain teacher personalities native to the central universe and their volunteer pupils drawn from the ascending mortals and numerous other celestial groups. The original teaching core of these artisans was sometimes assigned by the infinite spirit in collaboration with the 7 master spirits and consisted of 7,000 Havona instructors, 1,000 of each of the 7 divisions of artisans. With such a nucleus to start with, there has developed through the ages this brilliant body of skillful workers in spirit and mortal Morantia affairs.
Okay, so these beings, let me stop the share. So I'm going to talk a long time here. Oh, I didn't change it down here. Give me a second. Forgetting what I'm doing. Okay. These beings basically started with, am I on the right slide there, dear? Hang on, y'all. Let me go back here. Yeah, I'm on the right slide. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so these beings basically are have originally, when they started out, being trained by artisans that was assigned by the infinite spirit himself or herself, whichever it is, right? And the seven master spirits. So they did this to make the seven super universes more beautiful. So they found the best instructors they could find, 7,000 of these, and sent them out to 1,000 each to each of the seven super universe. And from there, they started training people on how to become celestial artisans. And this included people from the very beginning Morantia stages all the way up to almost 6 stage spirits that volunteer to go on the celestial artisan corps for, I think it's a period of 1,000 years. You volunteer to be a celestial artisan, which is kind of nice, right? Huh? You're muted. I can't hear you with these. Oh, okay. Okay. Go on to the next.
Okay.
Did it just change? Yeah, I'm having trouble getting this thing out of the way tonight. Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. And this is a picture of the original teaching corps of the celestial artisans. All right, the ones that was assigned by the infinite spirit and the seven master spirit. And there were 7,000 instructors. And it's kind of interesting. The guy that made this picture kind of made them two different types. Really, if you look at these things, they look like kind of like angels and people on top of one another. You see that? So I think he was trying to show that you could come from as a Morantia being or all the way up to an angel could become one of these things, which is kind of nice. You get selected or you volunteer. Now I assume you'd have to have a little bit of talent, right, to volunteer for that. Because if you make really lousy art, I don't know if they'd want you on their core. So anyway, Jane, would you take the next one, please? Did I skip over you, Pam, or did you read? You did.
I don't
Okay.
remember at this point. I did read, yes.
Okay, Jane, would you take the next one?
I was after Diane.
Yeah. Okay.
Any Morontia personality or spirit entity is eligible for admission to the corps of the celestial artisans. This is any being below the rank of inherent divine sonship. Ascending sons of God from the evolutionary spheres may, after their arrival on the Morontia world, apply for admission to the artisan corps, and if sufficiently gifted, may choose such a career for a longer or shorter period. But no one may enlist with the celestial artisans for less than 1 millennium,
Woo!
1,000 years of super universe time.
So that's 1,000 years of super universe time. What'd that be? That'd be,
Isn't it
10,000 years. Yeah.
No?
about 3,000 of ours? I was thinking.
I think it's more than that. We'd have to look it up again. I'm not going to do that, but it's a long time. So the other interesting thing about this paragraph is it says, if you're how they put it, it's sufficiently gifted, right? And so you have to have
Yes.
some,
Yes.
you have to have some talent. They're not just gonna.
You
let
don't have to
in.
just have the desire.
That's right. You have to have a little bit of skill of some sort. All right.
In other words,
But
it's not an escape from Morontia world
Yes.
number one. Number one.
no,
We
Right.
can spend millenniums there too.
you
Woo!
can. It basically it says no one can do less than 1 millennium, right? 1,000 years of super universe time. But it's apparently you could do more than that if you want to, right? Because like everything in the super universe, nothing's that big a hurry, right? Your
Nope.
progression plan up to see God is at your own pace. So You can do a little at a time. All right. There we go. I got a little thing here. That's what we needed to see. Okay.
Oh,
So here it is. Super
Oh, I was trying to
universe.
find that. Okay.
Yeah, here it is right
okay.
here. Super universe standard year, 1,000 standard days, or 3,000 Urantia days. Okay. So 1,000 years times 3,000 days divided by 365 is 8,219 Urantia years.
It's
Oh,
still a
Lord.
lot.
That's a long time. And this is all breaking down the time and how many days and that sort of stuff. This is from this time
Thank you.
study information.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I stuck it in there too. I forgot to even put that in there. It's been a while since I looked at this. Okay. Here we go. Diane, you're up again. Let me mute myself again here. Give me a second.
All celestial artisans are registered on the Super Universe headquarters, but are directed by Morantia supervisors on the local universe capitals. They are commissioned in the following 7 major divisions of activity by the central core of Morantia supervisors functioning on the headquarters world of each local universe. 1. Celestial musicians. 2. Heavenly reproducers. 3. Divine builders. 4. Thought recorders. 5. Energy manipulators. 6. Designers and embellishers. 7. Harmony workers.
Okay, they go on into each one of these a little bit here for us. But notice here it says these are directed by the Morantia supervisors on the local universe capitals. So that's on where Jesus is, right? Or Michael is. All right. And they're put in a division according to where their talent lays. Okay. So if you were a celestial musician, you wouldn't be assigned to the heavenly reproducers. Now, each one of these do different things, but it's kind of interesting. If you look through this list, you have thought recorders, energy manipulators, okay, designers, embellishers, and harmony workers, which are not part of the celestial musicians, which is kind of interesting, right? So harmony workers are something totally different. We're going to learn a little bit about these. Okay, and this is another picture of the celestial artisans. Okay, so here's the celestial musicians, heavenly reproducers,
Hmm.
et cetera, the energy, the divine builders, thought recorders, energy manipulators, the designers and harmony workers. Okay. And it's said at the top here, the celestial artisans are not created as such. They are selected and recruited. You see that? Core of beings composed of certain teacher personalities native to the central universe, and their volunteer pupils drawn from the ascending mortals and numerous other celestial groups. So the people that are recruiting these beings into the celestial artisans are not only teachers, but they recruit beings that are teachers in their previous worlds too. So if you, for instance, if you were an art teacher or something along this line, you would have a better chance of getting recruited into the celestial artisans, right? All right. Pam, would you take the next one, please?
The original teachers of these 7 groups all hailed from the perfect worlds of Havona. And Havona contains the pattern studies for all phases and forms of spirit artistry. While it is a gigantic task to undertake to transfer these arts of Havona to the worlds of space, the celestial artisans have improved in technique and execution from age to age. As in all other phases of the ascending career, those who are most advanced in any line of endeavor are required constantly to impart their superior knowledge and skill to their less favored fellows.
They say it nicely, don't they?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like teach,
they're- yeah,
like teach it.
they're less favored fellows, right? Well, this is weird.
Well,
Eric,
Roger, it's like, how would you be in the artisan field? And so someone would want to,
Yeah,
teach you more. And then what about someone who wants to expand on knowledge? And then, you would be the one to, be that person. And so it just, everybody has a place.
yeah, they do. Everyone does have a place.
Yeah.
Well, my screen just froze up here, y'all. Sorry. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
A Zoom meeting is not responding.
Hmm.
Well, I'm moving on out to y'all. Let me see. Let me see. Wait for the program to respond here. Let me see if I can wait for it to come back. It doesn't seem to be wanting to do that, does it? Let me reclaim the host here. Let me mute over here if I can. Okay, does everybody hear me okay again?
Yes.
Yeah? We still good? Anybody hear
I
me?
think so.
Yep.
Gary's got me.
Hmm.
Okay. Here we go. All right, we're back. Okay, I didn't say much about this. Let me mention this. So if you're not very good at doing this, even though you get in the core, the more talented people train those underneath them, right? To bring you up to speed and stuff, right? And that's what these original teachers from Avona started to do. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to relay to the 7 super universes the beauty and the artistry and that sort of thing, or in Havona. So they have that in the super universes too. So that's the whole point of this. Okay. All right. Let me go back to share screen. Let me see if I can get this come back up. There. Okay. Let's see who's up next. I believe Gary is up next.
Okay. You will first begin to glimpse these transplanted arts of Havana on the mansion worlds and their beauty and your appreciation of their beauty will heighten and brighten until you stand in the spirit halls of Salvington and behold the inspiring masterpieces of the supernal artists of the spirit realms.
I guess the best stuff is in Salvington where Jesus is, right? It sounds like it anyway.
Mhm.
Oh, yes,
I wonder
Lord.
if they have any rappers in this core.
I doubt it. That's my personal opinion. I guess I should have said that. Oh, depends on what you like. Everybody's different. Okay, Jane, would you take the next one, please, dear?
All these activities of the Morontia and spirit worlds are real. The spirit beings, the spirit world is a reality. To us, the material world is the more unreal. The higher forms of spirits freely pass through ordinary matter. High spirits are reactive to nothing material, accepting certain of the basic energies. To material beings, the spirit world is more or less unreal. To spirit beings, the material world is almost entirely unreal, being merely a shadow of the substance of spirit realities.
Okay, this super important paragraph here. You remember as I go through these lessons, I keep saying that the different types of beings we become are different levels of reality, right? So just like they have like on TV on the Skinwalker thing, you know, they talk about they have portals that go to a different dimension. Well, that's what they're talking about here. The Morontia dimension is different than the spirit dimension. The material dimension is different than the Morontia dimension. So if you were created in as a Morontia being right off the bat, you would think that material beings would be somewhat unreal, wouldn't they? They'd seem like just shadowy beings. But the spirit beings seem that way to you too, because they're on a different dimension, a higher dimension. So they even seem unreal when you first get to the Morontia existence. But to the finite existence, the Morontia and the spiritual seems unreal to us. Okay. So this is really important. And it's kind of funny because to the spirit beings, the entire material substance thing seems unreal to them because they can pass right through ordinary matter. Okay. Now, let me give you an example of this that we can actually see in our own lifetime. If y'all ever watched the Skinwalker Ranch thing, you would notice that they've had these orbs that come from the sky and go right into a mountain, okay, disappears, and then it comes back out of the mountain and disappears again, okay? So this is what we're talking about. If you're a spiritual being, this would be easy for you to do. Or if you were a spiritual being and one came to my front porch out here, it can walk right through the door without going through the door. It walks right through the material. If it wanted to appear to us ourselves, it would use a mechanical controller to give it a form which we could see because the spirit beings are above our sight, our normal sight. It's on a different vibration. So that's why this paragraph is so important to understand the difference between the material, the Morontia, and the spiritual. You got that? Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I think you're crazy, Roger. Okay. On to the next one. Diane, I think you're up next.
I cannot, with exclusive spirit vision, perceive the building in which this narrative is being translated and recorded. A divine counselor from Uversa who chances to stand by my side perceives still less of these purely material creations. We discern how these material structures appear to you by viewing a spirit counterpart presented to our minds by one of our attending energy transformers. This material building is not exactly real to me, a spirit building, a spirit being, but it is, of course, very real and very serviceable to material mortals.
Okay, this is another important paragraph. Why is that? Because they're talking about the revelation. Now, when they came to do the revelation and they were inside the building where they were revealing all of this, okay, they're talking about the building they were standing in, 580, 533. I can't remember the address now, it's been so long. But in Chicago, they could not perceive the building without the energy transformers giving a spirit counterpart for them to see in their mind. So all the beings that they were talking to, all the human beings, in reality, they couldn't see them. They had to have this energy transformation so they could perceive that a person was there. So could you imagine going to give a revelation to a planet and you can't even see the beings on the planet? Okay, you couldn't see the chair in the room. You couldn't see the door you just walked through to get inside the room. They'd be blind. Yeah, they really could be, which is interesting because they went to so much trouble to reveal this book to us. Okay, but it just shows you what they're talking about. Now, let me give you a good example of something with that too. When people say they see angels and things like that, think of it this way. In order for a person to see an angel, they have to have either a mechanical controller or energy transformer, give that angel a presence like a body, because the angels are on too high of a level for us to see. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they don't do it very often. Let me put it that way. So if you get up and you go walking in the woods tomorrow and you think you're talking to an angel, question yourself very closely. All right, Pam, would you take the next one, please?
There are certain types of beings who are capable of discerning the reality of the creatures of both the spirit and the material worlds. Belonging to this class are the so-called fourth creatures of the Havona servitals and the fourth creatures of the conciliators. The angels of time and space are endowed with the ability to discern both spirit and material beings, as also are the ascending mortals subsequent to deliverance from the life in the flesh. After attainment of the higher spirit levels, the ascenders are able to recognize material, Urantia, and spirit realities.
Wow.
Okay, so when you get to a point where you are a Morantia being, you will be able to discern not only Morantia beings, but you'll be able to discern spirit beings. Okay, you may not be able to see finite beings very easily because you'll be on the Morantia level. In essence, you'll be on the Morantia what dimension? Okay, so if you're living in the Morantia dimension, most of the things you'll see and experience will be of a Morantia nature. But an interesting point is this: some spirit realities are visible to us so that we can get a foretaste of our future as a spirit being. See that? That's why that's so important. All right. Yeah. Y'all are just all full of questions tonight. I know. Okay. Who are these people they're talking about? Havona cervicals, for cervicals, not cervicals, cervicals. All right. this is from the index, okay? And the Havona servitals, this is who they are. They have 1/4 of them have achieved the divine embrace and never return. They disappear. We don't know where they go.
That could
But
be a death
7
wish.
servitals, yeah, no, they actually go off to do something else for God, but they don't know what it is yet. 7 universal conciliators are created for each servital. There's 138 billion who serve on Uversa. That's our capital. They assist and eventually become graduate guides in the Havana, right? They are creatures of the 7 master spirits and the power directors. They are fourth creatures, discern reality of spirit and matter, and can become semi-physical if they choose to. Okay. They help ascenders on the universe capitals. They're in the personality registers, and they're involved in phases of the supremacy, God the Supreme. All right. They are the midway creatures of Havona. You know how we have midway creatures in each and every planet? Well, they are kind of do the job of the midway creatures of Havona because they're both physical and semi-physical, right? So they can appear and disappear. Their number keeps increasing and more are being created, and each one of them resemble one individual, the 7 master spirits. Notice how everything is 7, and they stay the same pilgrim throughout their entire ascent. So if you get assigned one of these, they'll go with you the whole way. Okay.
So I've got to, I'm having a problem. How do we get to those people from where we were?
They will be assigned to us when need be when we get to that point, Gary. So we don't have to do anything. They would be assigned when we get to like Havona on
Yeah,
the
but
our
weren't we
ascension
dealing
zone.
with artisan stuffs, and I'm not an
We
artist.
are, but they're a part of the artisan core too. So
Oh, so
that's what.
these people, okay, somewhat, and they can be visible and not visible to us.
That's right. They can
So
because
they could
they're
be
midway creatures. But that would only be when we get to Havona, Gary. When we get to
we
that
don't,
point.
it's not here on Earth.
Not here. Right. No. See, most of the stuff they talk about in this are artisans that we'll interact with when we get to the very first mention world, right? All the way through. But some of it they tell us about in the future. That's what that is about. Did you have a question too, Pam?
Oh, sorry, no.
Okay. All right. So who's next? I think Gary, I think you're up again.
I just took my glasses off. Okay. There is also here with me a mighty messenger from Uversa, an ascendant adjuster fused one-time mortal being, and he perceives you as you are. And at the same time, he visualizes a solitary messenger. The super
Supernafem.
Nephrim,
Yeah. No,
and
Supernafem.
Supernafem, the super
Mhm.
Supernafem, and other celestial beings present. Never in your long ascendance will you lose the power to recognize your associates of former existence. Also, always, as you ascend inward in the scale of life, you will retain the ability to recognize and fraternize with the fellow beings of your previous and lower levels of experience. Each new translation or resurgence,
Resurrection.
resurrection,
Resurrection.
resurrection will add one more group of spirit beings to your visual range without the least depriving you of the ability to recognize your friends and fellows of former estates.
No, this is two things they're talking about here. First, he mentions that there's a mighty messenger from Uversa with him. This is during the Revelation period when they were revealing the book. So he's saying there was a mighty messenger from Uversa, who was a ascendant being, just like we will be, that fused with their adjuster. And at one time he was immortal. Okay. And he perceived us during the revelation, just as we are on the planet. So the mighty messenger that's in this room revealing the book to him sees the mortals just fine. Because why? Because he was once immortal. Makes sense? And he went the whole process and became a mighty messenger.
So Roger, I'm not really sure. So it says an ascendant adjuster fused one-time mortal being. So it means that the mortal being who was adjuster fused is there.
Yes.
Became a mighty messenger. Became a mighty messenger.
messenger.
And since he came from being an adjuster fused mortal,
Yeah.
he can see all the people there.
Okay.
Because you can always see backwards. You can always see the beings, the type of beings that you started from. So when you get all the way to the top and you become a mighty messenger, you can see the whole range of celestial beings, including all the way down to the mortals in which you started from. Okay. So you can see why mighty messengers are so valuable. Okay, because they can see every type of being from the bottom all the way to the top. Okay, and that's the future we have to look forward to. Okay, and that's why it goes into such great sentencing to tell us that as we ascend, we will be able to recognize and fraternize with any being of a lower existence. Okay, so even though as we translate and we're resurrected for each from one type of being to another, from the first Urantia type being to the second Urantia type being, third, fourth, all the way to 400 something 90 to get to the local universe, with each one of those translations, we will get an expanded vision range. But we will still be able to have the ability to recognize and fraternize with all of them that we came from. Okay.
So Roger, that also
Yeah.
means that someone above you
Yeah.
might reach out because you're one of the lower ones
Right.
and help you or associate with
But you know,
you.
what's really important about this though, Pam, is the fact that they were talking about during the revealing of the book. So in order for this mighty messenger to communicate with the lower orders of beings, they use the thought adjuster of a person to do that. Okay. So that they could communicate easily with the everyone in the room. So you got to visualize this. The being they were speaking through had what's called a self-actualizing adjuster, which is a high level of adjuster. You know, each one of us, we're going to start studying this on Thursday, but each one of us are assigned adjusters, right? Some of them are higher level adjusters, some of them aren't as high as level adjusters. But the being that they used to reveal the book had a self-actualizing adjuster, which could communicate any message of any type of celestial being that wanted to speak. Okay, that's why this is so important. So all the way down from mortals who started as beings that started as mortals and became mighty messengers, all the way up to the sons of God, the Adam and Eves, the Melchizedeks, all the guardian angel corps, all the way up as high as we can go in this local universe. All these beings were able to communicate through this adjuster. And that's how they got the book. That's why this is so important. You got it? So when
Yeah.
people say, how did this come to be? It's not a one sentence answer, right? You can't just say, well, somebody's adjuster started talking and we wrote it all down. You know what I mean? It's a lot more complicated with that. And what's even more interesting, the life of Christ was written out by the 12 that were assigned, the 12 midwayer corps that was assigned to repeat the life of Christ. And when they got it revealed, it was all at the same time. In other words, they went to the safe and the whole part of that was there, already typed out, written out. So, the way 3/4 of the book came through was what they were talking about right here. It was revealed to an adjuster. The last part, the life of Christ, they wanted it to be exact. Okay. Because what's the most important part of the book to us? The life of Christ, right?
Yeah.
So that's why that was given one specific way that was different than the rest of it. Okay.
Well, you're saying that
If you-
are you saying that they materialized the printed pages?
Yes,
And
on
the,
the last part of the book. They didn't
Yeah,
do
they
that
just kinda-
except the last part of the book. The rest of the book was dictated. Okay. And the interesting part about that, Gary, is it was not only dictated, they would dictate the paper, and then they would take the paper out to the 70, which is a group of people that agreed to listen to the paper, critique it, ask questions, and that sort of thing. So the celestial beings were there while they read the paper, just like we're reading the paper right now. The celestial beings were there and they would listen to the questions and answers that people would ask and give about the paper they just read. So what they would do is they would go back that night and they would tweak the information they just revealed and give them the same paper all over again and do it again. Because if human beings could not understand what they were trying to relate, then they had to reword it and change it. So let me put it this way. When you read this book, it's difficult, right? Nothing easy about it. Except for the life of Christ, it's pretty easy. This book is difficult most of the way through, and the reason it's difficult is because they're trying to reveal to the human mind things of a celestial nature. Okay. So we only have a certain basic amount of understanding. So they tried to put it on a level that we could understand. Make sense?
Yes.
So then you have idiots like me come along and try to make it even simpler if I can, right? That's why we do this. So that you can understand it. But the point is this, it is understandable. It takes work, but it is understandable. And these people out there that read 1 or 2 paragraphs and they say it's a bunch of gobbledygook, they can't understand it because they haven't worked on it, right? What's my favorite saying? You can't fix what?
Stupid.
Stupid.
Right.
That's right. All right, go ahead, Gary.
Yeah. One of the difficult things with this book in the first 3 sections, and I struggle with it, and I think everybody else does, is the individuals. For instance,
Yes.
the thought adjusters. I've got a fairly good hold on it, and I still don't know it all. And just on the thought adjusters and the angelic core and the seraphics and
Right. Lot of beings, isn't it?
there's so many new terms and concepts that I really think if we were on a different plane and these concepts were common to us, it would not be that hard.
No, it'd be a piece of cake. By the time you get to the Urantia world and you get a new brain, Gary, that remembers everything that you learn, you don't have to go through it 50 times like I did to understand it, right? It comes to you the first time. because you get a better brain. All right. But by doing it on this planet, when
And
you
it's
get
the
to
thought adjuster that helps you?
it's the thought adjuster that helps you spiritualize your life and understand it. That's correct. Right? It's that fragment of God. You know, when I first started reading the book, I didn't like the term thought adjuster. It sounded like somebody was trying to change my thoughts, but that's not it at all. I like the term father fragment better because it's a fragment of the father, right?
Yes.
And it's more personal. But the thought adjuster is correct because it takes your non-spiritual life and tries to spiritualize it where it has meaning and value so that you take it with you to the mansion world, because anything that does not have spiritual value will not go with you to the mansion worlds. Okay? That's why this is so important. So that tells us one thing. If you never in your life try to improve your spiritual dwelling or your spiritual life, when you get to the mansion world, you're pretty much a blank slate, if you think about it, because you haven't spiritualized anything in your life, right? But if you go through this book and you try to learn this stuff, with each lesson you add to that psyche and to that brain, you take that with you. Now, this overruns or overflows into your personal daily life with your relationships. Okay, so the things you learn spiritually, you interact with your family and friends, and those interactions turn into what? Spiritual things that could be retained for the mansion worlds. You follow me?
Yeah.
Let me give you a good example of that. They say that when you get to the mansion worlds, things non-spiritual fall away like scaffolding from your mind. In other words, you don't remember them anymore. Why would that be? Because they have no bearing on your development from your Morantia being all the way to paradise. So they're not important anymore. That's one of the reasons people say, well, what about all my sin? Oh man, I've been such a sinner. I've done this and done that. When you get to the mansion worlds, if it doesn't have a spiritual lesson, you're not even going to remember it anymore. Make sense? Why do you think there's no tears in heaven? You think about that? There's no tears in heaven, but there's no tears in heaven because you don't miss those things which are non-spiritual when you get to heaven. They're just scaffolding that falls away. Does that make sense?
I am so thankful.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. You have nothing to worry about. All you have to worry about is learning your lessons, learning this stuff. Okay? That's why it's important. People ask me, why would you spend so much time in that book all the time? Y'all know the answers already, right? This is all that's important. And this stuff that's important overflows into my daily life, my relationship with my wife, or my relationship with my friends. Everything that I do comes from this book. Okay? And that's the way it should be. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, 6:55. Let's get one more paragraph and we'll quit. Who's up to read? I think Jane is up to read next, if I remember correctly.
Okay. All this is made possible in the experience of ascending mortals by the action of the indwelling thought adjusters. Through their retention of the duplicates of your entire life's experiences, you are assured of never losing any true attribute you once had. And these adjusters are going through with you as part of you, in reality, as you.
That's the answer right there, right? The thought adjuster takes those experiences, which are spiritual, and makes sense, and that goes with you to the mansion worlds, right? Okay, and we're going to quit right there. We'll start on 4420 next time.
Okay.
Stuff to share. Is that an interesting paper? I just love this paper. It's great. All right. Let me put the view up of the gallery here. There we go. That way we can see everybody. And you got two of me. There's Roger and Roger. Right? Okay, let's have a little prayer real quick for the night. Pam, would you like to close us in prayer tonight?
Yes, hold on one second. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this illuminating book of Revelation. We are filled with joy to learn such abundant information. Let us be filled with your light and help us to share with others and serve as well. In the name of Christ Michael, Jesus of Nazareth, pray in his name. Thank you. Amen.
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 And thank you all for joining us from home at Facebook and YouTube and Vimeo. Stop the video here. Stop that video.